Good morning and happy Thursday, Holiday Hill family. Josh here in the youth room, and I do have a confession to make before we begin Throwback Thursday. I filmed these before Thursday. As it stands right now, it is Wednesday morning, and we don't know who the president in 2021 will be just yet. So this video may be more or less poignant depending on your political convictions in the next 24 hours or right now as you're watching it. So let's begin. In 1927, Walter Elias Disney entered into a partnership with a guy named Charles Mintz of Universal to create a series of cartoons featuring a character called Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Oswald was a big hit and netted a whole lot of money for the Disney company and Disney Animation. Walt and his brother Roy were able to build a new studio in California, and things were looking really good for them. The 26 some odd cartoon series that they did was very profitable. It was very good, and it was very promising. It had been running for about a year with no idea or no view in sight of it ever stopping or coming to an end. And then in 1928, it came to an end. Charles Mintz of Universal decided that the partnership with Disney was going to come to an end, but it got worse. See, Universal owned the rights to Oswald, not Walt. So not only was Walt no longer going to make Oswald cartoons, he didn't even have the right to Oswald. Furthermore, Mintz left with quite a few of Disney's best animators. Disney left that meeting in New York heartbroken, distraught, and in a sense of absolute hopeless. How are we going to recover from this? How are we going to turn this around? What hope do we have right now? Well, on the train back to California, he had an idea. And that idea was, I'll create a character that's uniquely my own. I'll create a character that's just mine. And when it's just mine, no one can take it from me. And he began to draw a cartoon mouse that he named Mortimer. His wife thought that was a terrible name. Mickey would be a better name for a mouse. And thus was the creation of Mickey Mouse. And thus was the beginning of the Disney Empire. As Walt said, regardless of how big we get, remember, it all started with a mouse. But the story of Oswald doesn't end there, as a matter of fact. As Universal grew, NBC became part of their umbrella, and as Disney grew, ESPN became part of the Disney umbrella. And this is where things get a little interesting. NBC got the rights to NFL Sunday Night Football, and they wanted Al Michaels to do commentary for Sunday Night Football. The problem was that Al Michaels was under contract with ESPN. So Disney and Universal made a trade. Disney received the rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, while NBC and Universal received the rights to a very real living human being, Al Michaels. How's that for sports trivia for you? And as a result, Disney got Oswald back, eventually. What does this all mean for now? Again, this is being filmed before any final decisions have been made, but I will tell you this. Half of you watching right now are feeling a sense of hopelessness, a sense of sadness, maybe even a sense of anger. You're probably thinking to yourself, how are we going to recover? How are we going to survive? How are we going to overcome this? What's my future look like? What's the future of my children look like? What's the future of my grandchildren look like? May I offer you a bit of encouragement? Understand what you can and can't control. Find peace and pursue it. Take a deep breath. You voted for who you voted for. And those results may be what you wanted. They may be not what you wanted. But you're not going to add a single second onto your life worrying about things that you cannot control. So how do we seek peace? How do we find peace and pursue it? Do what you can. Love the family God's given you. Serve the people in your community. Look for someone hurting worse than you. Sacrifice and help them out. This is where we find our peace. This is where you find your real power, the ability to love and to pour in to others. Regardless of how you feel, it's probably not forever. Oswald came around eventually. Took a few decades, but he came around eventually. And I hope the same is for you, regardless of how you feel, regardless of how you believe. I hope wherever you are, it turns out well, in time, for you. God bless. Take care. God bless America.